Hi there, I'm Angela. Welcome to the channel, or welcome back, and welcome to my Zone 6A garden. I'm happy to have you here. And in this video, I'm going to share with you all the things that I worked on in the garden this past week. If you're ready, let's jump in. It's Wednesday, April 19th, and today's task is to mainly fill some more of my grow bags with soil. And I think I still have about maybe 6 bags of soil that I haven't used yet. So once I use all that soil up, I'll fill as many as I can get with that. Then I'll kind of take a look at my list and see what's next. Do you guys ever feel that this time of year you spend pretty much half your paycheck on soil when you're getting your garden set up? That's kind of how I'm feeling right now. So I've got 4 more bags of it's raised bed and potting mix, since I'm using it in the grow bags, and it's 2 cubic feet. The brand is Kellogg. I've used this before. I'm not like loyal to any particular one brand. It's whatever I can get the best price on. And these were like $9.97 per bag, I think. I feel like that's kind of high. I'm sure the price has gone up like it has on everything else. And I have had topsoil brought in like by the truckload a couple of times for my garden, but it seems like both of those times the quality of the soil was terrible. And in one case, like the second load that we brought in probably a couple of years ago, I'm still amending the soil to make it like good for growing vegetables in. So I've been kind of rethinking my layout. Instead of putting a new bed right there, I found another place for it. I was gonna kind of put it right where that trellis is. Instead, there's just going to be grow bags there again this year, and I'll talk more about where the new bed's going to go at a later time when I'm actually putting the bed together. It's still kind of all in flux on where everything's going to go with all these grow bags, and still like I'm just figuring it out as I go. There's going to be grow bags lining this trellis, which when I call it a trellis, it's really just this flexible plastic netting zip tied onto some T-posts. And I think what I'm gonna do here is move these are 5 or 10 gallon bags, move these, put some bigger ones there for tomatoes. So tomatoes will be down this row and in this bed here, and those smaller bags I think are going to go, let me back up, make a 1 or 2 rows down this way, and maybe peppers will go in there. That's kind of what I'm thinking. And until it's all said and done, it's always like changeable. And yeah, I got show you how my onions are doing here. I planted those, I guess that was last week. They're doing okay, or maybe over the weekend. And then in this bed I've got beets and radish seeds in. And the main thing that I did today was to fill up 5 more of these 20-gallon size grow bags and put most of the rest of my onions and leeks in here. And I do still have quite a bit, not quite a bit, a few onions and leek seedlings, and they're doing so good. There's a few right back there. The thing is, I'm really running out of space for them. And just a quick look at the rest of the garden. In these pots here are mostly herbs and chives and garlic that was planted last fall. And in this last bed here with the nice trellis, now this is what I call a trellis. We built that one several years back, and this thing is magnificent. It is so good. We've got hops growing up on the back side, and they're kind of taking over. I'm gonna have to trim them back. Ooh, they're sticky too. They've got like some sticky substance on their vines. I always forget that. And I usually only like to allocate like 1/2 of this trellis to them, like one side, this back side, and then 1/2 of it. So they get 1/4 of the bed. And we do get a decent number of hops, enough to brew like 1 batch of beer in the fall. And then I also normally use this bed for melons and cucumbers, other things that like to climb. My dream and my vision is to eventually put another wooden bed here, and then probably another one after that, and that might be all I have the space for. Then the hops can move to the back, and I'll have 2 beds with each their own trellis. So let me back up. So all 3, this bed and the 2 new ones, would have nice trellises like that, or you know, something similar. It was kind of a pain in the butt constructing this thing, but it sure is nice. So we might do something like that again, or maybe find something a little simpler and quicker. But anyway, so that way I would have 1 bed for the hops, 1 for cucumbers, and 1 for melons. So we'll see. It's always changeable. And so far, my 2 long beds, nothing there yet. I need to backfill this in with soil where I started to dig all the soil out and change my mind. I don't think these beds are gonna relocate anytime soon, because that's just a monumental task that I am not up for right now. And oh, I do have chives in this bed. These come back every year. And that's how the garden's looking today. I'm sure I'll be back out here as the week goes on. If I do anything that's interesting, I'll be sure and put it in this video, the weekly recap of the garden this week, so I'll be back. Hey there, it's Saturday, April 22nd. Just checking back in. I really haven't done too much else in the garden this week, just due to other things keeping me very busy. We finally did get a bunch of rain yesterday and last night. We needed it so bad, and I'm seeing now everything looks so green and lush. The ground's soggy, so we really needed the rain. I will show you one thing that we've kind of been working on in the past couple of weeks, so I'll explain more here in just a minute. So if you've been watching my channel for any length of time, you may have heard me talk about my extreme desire to build a fence for the garden to keep the deer out. And we have finally started on it this year. We did have it priced out by a local fence company, and it was some crazy, like many thousands of dollars just to fence in the little garden area. So it was really out of our budget. So we decided to go ahead and take a stab at building our own fence. And we have started on it. We've got the first 2 fence posts set in here. And then one other thing that we have done, let me back up and give you the lay of the land. So here's our shed, and now it's kind of close up. And we've got woods all through there, and there's the house, and here's the garden. And to give you more layout, our pond is over there. So we did go ahead and kind of run a line down to the house to make sure that we have it squared up, and marked off couple of stakes here. You can see those right there. This is where one of the gates is going to be, and it lines up with this main pathway through the garden right here. So all of this, like behind the house, none of that will be fenced in, and the fence will just run right up to the house, right in between that little shrub and the water faucet there. So it feels good to make some progress on that big time. I don't know if we'll actually get it done this year, but that's kind of our goal. Gosh, everything is so like soaking wet out here. This is so good. Our soil and all the plants needed it so bad. And we're still a little, maybe a week or 2 out from putting the tomatoes and the peppers and everything out. I usually wait till at least Mother's Day before I put all the temperature sensitive plants in the ground for good or for the year. Kind of along the lines of infrastructure or making the area just nicer overall. I've purchased 4 oak leaf hydrangeas to plant right here along the house. I just want this area to kind of look a little bit nicer, and eventually these 2 long beds will get turned, you know, perpendicular to how they are now. So I'm gonna go ahead and get these shrubs planted in the coming week. And right now they're gonna be like pretty close to this bed, but I know that that won't be the case forever. I will have these beds relocated before these plants start really encroaching over there. I didn't want to put them too close to the house. I want to Finally, I've learned in all my years of gardening to adhere to the requirements and the needs of the plant. So I didn't want to like squish them up too close to the house. I want to give them plenty of room to space out. These shrubs, what does it say? I think they get 4 to 6 feet high and 4 to 6 feet wide. Yeah, 4 to 6 feet tall and 4 to 6 feet wide. The reason I went with these is that this area on this side of the house, right up close to the house, doesn't get much sun at all. So I needed something that would really thrive in the shade. Our sun comes up in the east over there and kind of follows a trajectory like right over the house and behind me. So right up against the house, it might get an hour or two of sun in the late afternoon, if that. And that's probably about all I have to share with you guys this week. I'm sorry it was so short. Thank you so much for stopping in and visiting my garden. Hopefully I'll have a lot more to share with you next week. And until then, bye.